Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me wherever you are in the world, and I hope you are enjoying the ongoing World Cup. Not sure Pakistani cricket fans will be enjoying the World Cup at the moment, but never mind. Things can only get better, I think. Where do we start? I'm actually lost for words, which is a very rare occurrence with myself when I talk about cricket. Okay, let's start with the toss. Pakistan won the toss, batted first, fair enough decision, put runs on the board, and then put the Afghanistan batters under pressure. Yeah, in theory, a good idea. 100 for one after 20 overs. Fair enough, yeah, fairly decent start. But then that's where it starts going wrong, because the next 20, 21 overs, they managed to score 100 runs. Pakistan weren't collapsing. They weren't struggling. The bowling wasn't too threatening. Rashid Khan, Mohammad Nabi, Noor Ahmed, these guys, all these spinners Pakistan have faced before. So there's no mystery about these spinners. Could have easily milked them for 5, 6 runs and over with the odd boundary. But what Pakistan batters tend to do is, in those middle overs, they conserve wickets. They save wickets. I'm not going to say that they play for themselves, but yeah, that is a fair enough accusation, I think, because what then happens is that you are trying in those last 10 overs to score 100, 110, 120 runs. So instead of 282 for 7, which is what Pakistan finished up with, what they should have aimed for was 300, 310. Most teams in this competition would have actually, after that start of 100 for 1 after 20 overs, they would have looked for a total in excess of 300. Babar Azam at the press conference after the game said, yeah, they wanted 280, 290. So this is the target and this is what they'll go for. Come on, to win matches, to win tournaments, you've got to exceed expectations. You've got to reach levels that aren't your targets, that aren't your aims. You've got to aim higher. So, 280, 290, they're comfortable with. That shouldn't be the case. They should have gone for a higher total insofar as I say, 300, 310. That would have put more pressure on the Afghanistan batters. So look at the strike rates of the top 5 batters. I mean, what have we got? 77, 77, 80, 80, and 73. That's not going to scare any bowling lineup in this tournament. That's not going to scare even associate nations, because there's nobody being aggressive. There's nobody looking for that strike rate in excess of 100. There's nobody looking to launch those spinners, including Mohammad Nabi, who got 1 for 31 in 10 overs. Come on, he's an experienced customer. He's a wily bowler. He's played a lot of cricket around the world. But 10 overs, 1 for 31. The ball it wasn't the easiest pitch to bat on, but the ball wasn't turning rapidly. It wasn't the pitch wasn't breaking. There wasn't a lot of uneven bounce. A little bit more effort, a little bit more aggression, and they could have easily got 50, 55 runs off Mohammad Nabi. There's your extra 20, 25 runs, which takes you to a total in excess of 300, which is what I was talking about at the start of this chat. So the attacking was left to the last 5 overs, and poor old Ifti comes in, and whilst the others have been plodding along with a strike rate of 77, 78, and 80, poor old Ifti has to come in and launch the bowling all over the park, which, to be fair to him, he did very well. So overs 45 to 49, those 5 overs Pakistan attacked and showed what they could have done if they'd attacked earlier. They leave it too late. This attacking theory of leaving it to the last few overs is flawed. It's outdated. Look at the likes of Quinton de Kock. Look at the likes of Klassen, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. These guys are scoring runs at least a strike rate of 100 throughout the tournament whenever they bat. So the Pakistani batters need to take a look at themselves. I know the bowlers are going to get stick, have been getting stick, and I'll come to those bowlers in a second. But the batters have not been aggressive enough throughout the tournament. This is the way they play. I'm afraid they play for their average. They play for their ranking. They're happy with the ranking of in the top 10. Doesn't matter whether the team loses. Yes, that's a serious accusation against some of these batters, our top order batters, but I think it's justified because they are playing for themselves. They're looking at their ranking, they're playing for their average. They're not bothered about whether the team wins or loses. Absolutely disgraceful, in my opinion. So, okay, what have we got then? Pakistan's bowling. You've got 282 for 7 on the board. Half, of course, should have been more than that, as I said. Lack of wickets in the power play. Throughout this tournament, Pakistan has not taken wickets in those first 10 overs, and it was the same against Afghanistan. In the past, Pakistan have relied on Shaheen Shah Afridi to get those early wickets. Shaheen's not at the top of his game. I know he got 5 wickets against Australia, but most of those wickets were towards the end of the innings. In those first few overs, Shaheen isn't knocking over those top order batters, and that has caused a lot of issues and problems for Pakistan. Because Shaheen's not getting those early wickets, the other bowlers are under pressure. Haris Rauf is coming in and being smashed to all parts, and then they're having to pick up the pieces at the end of the innings. And the spinners, Pakistani spinners, I mean, the averages of the 3 main spinners, Osama Mir, Mohammad Nawaz, and Shadab Khan, it makes me ill just thinking about those averages. Absolutely terrible. Lack of wickets, lack of control. There's no cohesion in their bowling. They all look short of confidence. They look clueless. They don't know where to bowl the ball. Babar Azam himself said that they're bowling 4 good balls and 2 rubbish balls every over. And I think that's quite generous, really, because some overs they're bowling 4 rubbish balls and 2 good balls. Again, not good enough. Now, we come to the fielding, and I've seen some bad fielding over the years for Pakistan teams, but throughout this tournament, their fitness levels, I don't know whether it's down to all that mutton they're eating, but and the biryani they've been eating, of course, seems like they've been enjoying the food out there, because 1 or 2 of the guys look like they've put on 1 or 2 pounds definitely during this tournament. The lack of fitness, the lack of awareness, the lack of cohesion in that field, the lack of effort as well at times, and it has to come from the skipper. And the skipper himself has been fielding very poorly throughout this tournament. Simple things like not backing up, run-out chances, drop catches. The Afghan batters, to their credit, they pinpointed areas where they knew they could get 2 runs, but the Pakistani fielders were so slow to the ball that they were making those 1s into 2s comfortably. Those quick singles. Mid only stood too deep. Mid only stood on his heels, daydreaming, maybe thinking of that mutton biryani or whatever they're going to have on the night. Again, this is just, it's not on. This is cricket at the highest level. What are these guys doing? If I had hair, I'd be tearing it out. Reviews. What is going on with reviews? Do these guys not know the rules of cricket? Mohammad Rizwan wants to review everything. I think we should have a separate system where the team gets 3 reviews and Mohammad Rizwan gets his own 5 reviews. What is going on? These experienced cricketers, they should know. I know sometimes players get it wrong with reviews, but what on earth are they doing with some of those LBW reviews? You can see from the naked eye that it's missing leg stump or it's going over, but no, our guys review. And unfortunately, Babar Azam is weak when it comes to those reviews, because the bowlers are saying, we want to review, and Babar's like, okay, go on, review it. Feel sorry for him a little bit in that regard, because he's being put under pressure by the wicketkeeper and by the bowlers. But the captain has got to have more game awareness about taking reviews and wasting them again and again, match after match. The body language. Yeah, again, comes down to the fielding. I've never seen so many players stood in the outfield just shaking their heads. Open descent, hands on hips, not bothered, turning the back on the skipper, nobody going to the skipper to advise him, to help him. And even the skipper's body language, again, as I said before, it comes from the top. The skipper's body language was terrible in that Afghanistan match, and it's not been great throughout the tournament. So when his body language is poor, his teammates are looking, well, hang on, there's Babar Azam, there's our skipper, there's our leader. Look at his body language, hunched shoulders, head down, hands on hips, head shaking. So the rest of them do it because he's doing it himself. Not good enough, not professional, absolutely awful. The PCB issued a statement saying that there's no infighting going on at the moment. Why issue that statement? What was the need for that? Just keep quiet. Just because some journalists are making those accusations, you don't need to respond to them. But good old PCB did that. When you watch the Afghanistan game, it makes you actually think that that could be true. The infighting, the lack of, bonding, the lack of team spirit out there, the lack of camaraderie out there, it just wasn't good enough. And the rumours, there's going to be more rumours. There's going to be stories coming out now about more infighting. But the way that the Pakistani fielders and the players behaved during that match against Afghanistan, if you look throughout the overs that Afghanistan batted, you could see that there's issues there, without a doubt, despite the PCB's denials. Babar Azam's captaincy was all over the place. The fielding, the bowling changes, the balls reversing, you're bringing spinners on. Oh, it was just, I mean, to say he had a bad day at the office would be an understatement. And I worry about his future as skipper, really, because I think by the end of this tournament, we will see him either resign or be asked to leave and step down as ODI captain. At least if Pakistan don't reach the semi-finals, which looks unlikely at the moment. I want to give credit to Afghanistan. I thought they outplayed Pakistan in every area of the game: the batting, bowling, fielding, their tactics, their preparation, their coaching. Pakistan actually looked like the team who were quite new to international cricket, and Afghanistan looked like the seasoned veterans who've been playing international cricket for many, many years. So Afghanistan deserve congratulations for their first win in ODI cricket against Pakistan. It was 100% deserved. I wasn't surprised. I actually woke up in the morning before the game, and I said to one or two of my relatives that I've got a bad feeling about today's game. I think Pakistan might lose. And to be honest with you, I was disappointed. I was angry, but I wasn't totally surprised because the way Pakistan have been playing at this World Cup has just not been good enough. Pakistan teams in the past, especially the bowlers, when runs are on the board, they've always shown a fighting spirit. They've always shown aggression. They've always shown fight. Right down to that last ball, they will give their all. Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, Shoaib Akhtar, even the spinners like Saqlain Mushtaq, and we've seen Mushtaq Ahmed, Imran Khan in the past. I'm talking about legendary fast bowlers and spinners who gave their all. They were fighting right down to the last run. But Pakistan just did not look like they were able to take wickets. There was no fighting spirit there. There was no aggression. There's nothing there. It looked like a team that had already lost with 15, 20 overs to go. This isn't the Pakistan that we're used to. This isn't the Pakistan that we deserve to see. This isn't the Pakistan team that should be out there in the World Cup. What has gone on? What is wrong with these guys? Again, it is not good enough. 4 matches left. Can you see Pakistan winning all 4 matches? I don't think so. I'd be amazed if Pakistan win their last 4 games. My only concern is that they end up losing the last 4 games because that is a possibility. Who have they got? South Africa, Bangladesh. They've got New Zealand and England in the last game. I mean, this tournament could end up being an absolute disaster for the management, for the players themselves, and for the Pakistan Cricket Board hierarchy. I only hope that they can win these last 4 games and somehow get into the semi-finals, but it's looking a very tall order. And we can only hope that there's some improvement amongst the players in their performance, in their thinking, in their approach to one-day cricket, which, as I said before, is outdated. It's lagging behind. It's way behind some of the other teams that we're seeing in this tournament. And I'm afraid that heads will need to roll if Pakistan do not reach those semi-finals. Thanks very much for watching. I know it's a lot of doom and gloom at the moment for Pakistan cricket, but let's hope that things do improve. Thanks very much. Take care.